Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. Welcome to another week in review. You can catch this live replay on my Instagram Live, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to watch it full and through with the other episodes. And hello, everyone that has joined, and I'm glad you joined. So let's just get right into COVID-19, which I always open and cover. And hello to everyone on the different coasts of the world, whether you're up north, in the south, in the Midwest, Mountain Time, or on the Pacific. So hello. So let's just get right into COVID-19. So according to the Johns Hopkins University and Medicine website, we have 249,087,724 global confirmed cases. The global death toll is 5,037,745. U.S. confirmed cases is 46,435,859. The U.S. death toll is sitting at 753,914. So I will repeat that once again. Global confirmed cases is 249,087,724. Global death toll is 5,037,745 cases. Death toll. U.S. confirmed cases is 46,435,859, and the U.S. death toll is 753,914. And as for the number of vaccinated people, according to Google, in the United States, 443 million doses were given. Fully vaccinated people is 193 million. That makes up 58.6% of the population that's fully vaccinated. And the president did say that it was supposed to be 70% is herd immunity. We're still not even there, and it's close to the middle of November. And we're not at the 70% goal. He wanted to be there on the 4th of July, this past 4th of July, but unfortunately, we didn't even break that. We're lucky to even break over 50%. So now there is, oh, wow. Sorry about that. Gee. But I'm not shocked that we're not at that place. I have said this time and time again, and some people get mad at me when I quote doomsday with this virus. We're not there yet, and I don't know if we're going to be there in the middle of 2022, because people are still spreading misinformation. Like Aaron Rodgers, who was on a podcast. Basically, he lied about being immune, and he lied about basically getting vaccinated, and still spread misinformation about the virus. So here's the thing to anti-vaxxers like Aaron Rodgers, and even some anti-vaxxers I know that send me a text message about, the whole vaccine thing. So here's the thing. This virus is going nowhere. And because people like Aaron Rodgers is the reason why we're still in this shithole. And we don't know when we're going to get out of this. People are looking at signs of optimism with this. But how are you going to look at signs of optimism when people like Aaron Rodgers and other folks with big platforms spreading misinformation about the vaccine and about the virus itself, saying it's a 99.9% survival? There are people that actually die from COVID. Over 750,000 Americans die of COVID and did not have to die. They didn't have to die. And people that caught COVID and survived have lifelong pre-existing conditions on top of whatever pre-existing conditions they had before COVID. Or some that never had pre-existing conditions and now have pre-existing conditions because of COVID. So I'm here to say this. To the Aaron Rodgers of the world and all of the anti-vaxxers and the misinformation folks of the world. COVID is real. You can actually die from COVID. And that's all I'm going to say. If you take the vaccine and still mask up, you will survive this. I'm getting my third booster towards the end of this month because it will make 6 months on the 27th for me. So I'm getting it between the end of this month and the first week of December. I'm not effing around with this virus at all. Like, I'm not effing around with this. This shit is real. So once again, COVID is real. It's here. It's around the world. It's in 190 something countries, including the United States of America, which is a red zone. We're level 4 in traveling. That means it's dangerous to come to the United States of America because we have such large cases of COVID-19. We have almost 50 million confirmed cases here and almost 1 million death toll. So keep spreading this misinformation. You will F around and find out about COVID. And trust me, you don't want to. Because that ventilator, you will most likely not get off. So be wise and take the vaccine and stop fucking spreading misinformation. Now on to the politics of everything. Hello, whoever just came on. If you missed some of it, you can watch the replay on Instagram Live or subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, BIF, which is Biden Infrastructure Bill, passed last Friday night around this time. And 13 Republicans, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, 13 Republicans joined in the House to vote for it, including some that's up here north. But there were 6 members of the Democratic Party, the Democratic caucus in the House, 6 from the Progressive Caucus, also known as a squad, voted against the bill. And 2 of them are from my city. And those 2 represent areas of the Bronx. One has a section in the Bronx and Queens, and the other has a section in the Bronx and Yonkers. So I addressed them last week, and I caused some heat from it, which I can give 2 fucks because I said what I said. But a particular person, besides gentersplaining on this Bird app, a particular congressman decided to support the bill, and I'm going to pull it up because it's necessary to be transparent. So I'm going to find this tweet in the midst of everything. So, Congressman Jamal Bowman of New York 16th Congressional District said this in his tweet. I support the infrastructure package. In addition, we still need paid family leave, universal pre-K and affordable childcare, lower prescription drug costs, immigration reform, and more. And he basically said, join him. You know, we need Build Back Better. Tune in at bowman.house.gov live. So I said he voted against the bill. He protested against it. Hello, Dr. C. He protested against it. And he literally voted no, along with these folks here. Voted no. Cool. So, I would like to say this to Congressman Bowman and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You 2 are from the same city as me. You 2 decided to vote with your colleagues in protests. Because you wanted other things in the bill. A lot of the times, we don't get what we want. I get it. I understand it. But voting against something that will benefit your districts in particular is selfish, and it's just wrong as hell. As I said to AOC, your district in Queens suffered from a very bad hurricane back in August. Flooded. And people still reeling from the effects of that. And the transit system, the trains were just flooded. And Mr. Bowman, this is especially for you. You have some NYCHA houses in your district. 2, I named them, including Eden Wall, which is on Laconia, 225th and Laconia, and Gun Hill houses, which is on Gun Hill and White Plains. You're really going to vote no for the bill, the infrastructure bill that will help the water crisis in NYCHA, the roads in the Bronx? You really going to do that? This is why this whole new wave of progressivism, I just don't get it. I don't understand it, because you're progressive, but you're voting no for the most progressive bill. I need for y'all to make this make sense, because you're doing this to benefit the gentrifiers in your district, which, Mr. Bowman, you don't really have a lot of gentrifiers in your district. You have a lot of old school Caribbean people that got a lot of houses out there. So you voted no for a bill that will benefit your constituents in particular. It was just plain stupid. And for Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you don't even have a district office in your district, but you're voting no for a bill that will help the people on City Island and Parkchester and Castle Hill and all the people in Jackson Heights. Y'all need to make y'all progressive message make sense, because y'all not progressive. If you voted against this bill, you're not progressive. And that's just plain and simple. Now on to the January 6th committee latest news. So, oh yes, bring back Joe Crowley, Elliot Engel, and Lacey Clay. Yeah, because at least they would have voted for the bill and stuff would have got done. But I'm pretty sure they sitting back and laughing at the constituents like, y'all really gonna vote for these people over me? Really? Okay. So, the January 6th committee in the House of Representatives gave some subpoenas out, and I want to circle back on the subpoenas because I think it's important to be transparent in this moment. So I'm almost halfway through my list. So these people on the January 6th committee, they issued subpoenas to the following people: Nicholas Luna, Molly Michael, Ben Williamson, Christopher Lindell, John McEnt, Keith Kellogg, Kelly McEnany, Stephen Miller, Cassidy Hutchinson, Kenneth Kay, Jason Miller, John Eastman, Michael Flynn, and more. And even Steve Bannon as well. And today, the grand jury has indicted Steve Miller after he failed to comply with a subpoena from the January 6th House Committee. And that was rendered by the AG himself, Merrick Garland. But a particular person criticized the January 6th committee. And I would like to read his tweet as well. I have some bad news. After multiple calls, I have some extremely grim news. As of the now, 1-6 committee is dead already and will not enforce the subpoenas. Trump wins. The 1-6 terror plot will go unexamined and unpunished. And to say I'm livid is putting it mildly. And that was Rick Wilson of the Lincoln Project. And I said, I guess Rick Williams should delete his tweet after the January 6th committee's subpoenas. And then after today, he should be eating his words. And Rick Wilson should be eating his words. I want to know from Rick Wilson, where was his energy during the Bush administration and the Reagan administration? Oh, you were a Republican then. A Reagan Republican. You were pro-Lincoln and pro-Reagan and pro-Bush. That's what happened. And then in 2016, when you were warned that a racist can take over your party, you said a lot of shit about Hillary Clinton. And now the racists took over your party. You have nothing really meaningful to say. But you want Democrats to clean up your party's dirty work. So here's some news, Mr. Wilson. Your party hasn't been shit since Eisenhower. And it was shit during Eisenhower. It really hasn't been shit since Lincoln. And Lincoln wasn't even the greatest thing. No, the Republican Party has been the party of not for the people. The Republican Party has always been against black folks. Democratic Party, in the beginning, was the party of all white men, Dixiecrats. But that has changed. Really since, people say FDR, but John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson. So let me just sum this up, because I know it's taking me too long to land a punchline. And I don't want to punchline anybody. I just want to state the facts. So I state the facts. So, Mr. Wilson, all of that talk criticizing the 1-6 committee, and after today's news, you should really eat your words, because Chairman Thompson and the rest of the committee is putting in that work. They are. They're giving out subpoenas left to right. And if they don't comply, they will submit that information to the AG's department. And will submit that information, the AG and the Justice Department will submit that information to the grand jury, which is the District of Columbia's courts. So all of that, trying to degrade and disrespect the 1-6 committee, you really disrespecting the 1-6 committee because the chairman is black. Let's just keep it real. See, a lot of these white moderates have a black people problem as well. They do. They have a black people problem. And they don't like when black folks are in power because they feel threatened. And when they feel like they're not moving fast enough for them, they want to criticize them. Because they do it with my AG, for crying out loud. But I'm here to let the Rick Wilsons of the world and those who defend him, and I know some of y'all follow me on Twitter, but this is for y'all. Black folks ain't your goddamn muse. We do things on our time when we ready. And when Steve Bannon ignored the subpoena, Benny Thompson and the rest of the folks on the 1-6 committee was on top of that real quick. They gave the information to the DOJ, and the DOJ gave that information and let the grand jury decide what they're going to do. And the grand jury decide they're going to indict that ass. That means Marshall's is knocking on his door. And trust me, they got a lot of doors to knock on. Mark Meadows did the same shit. He about to get his ass render up. If Kelly McEnany and his Stephen Miller want to do the same thing, they will F around and find out. And Jason Miller too. All of them. That Amy chick, she will find out too. They will all find out. So I would like for Rick Wilson and the Do Something Twitters of the world, those white moderates, those white centrists, and some of those progressives, to shut the hell up. Keep Benny Thompson's name out your mouths. And focus on canvassing for candidates of your liking. Focus on actually studying and reading the news. That's what y'all can do. And in terms of Rick Wilson, what you should be doing is restoring your reputation for being the most disrespectful operative in the Republican Party. History followed you. And after Mr. Cleveland's death, and after what you did to him, you should be praying to the Lord that nothing happens to you. Because you did a lot of dirty shit. But then again, you worked for Rudy Giuliani. So that's very telling. I mean, look at you. Just look at you. Just pitiful and pale and dry as hell. And that's all I'm saying. Now, I'm done. Almost. So, the VP went to Paris. And it was a very substantive trip. She addressed a lot of the climate change issues, a lot of domestic issues that's happening in the United States, and how France can be an ally to us and restore our foreign relations, because since it's been fractured for the last 4 years. Oh yeah, I said that. I said all of that. Absolutely. I said all of that. And Jay, you're absolutely right about the Lincoln Project. Don't think I'm ignoring your comments, because I'm not ignoring your comments, guys. But, let's see. So the VP, it was a very substantive conversation. It was very substantive, and very substantive trip that she had. And she was addressing a lot of the issues. But it seems like the mainstream media seems like they always have a problem with her. Right? They always have an issue. I don't know why they want clicks and likes. But here's the thing. The VP is actually doing good work overseas. She is. She's restoring our foreign relations, because it's been messed up for the last 4 years under the former guy, a.k.a. the New York bum, under his administration. His vice president did not even know the definition of foreign policy, because you never heard anything substantive come out of his mouth. So I would like for the mainstream media to leave the vice president alone and let her do her job, because she's actually doing a fantastic job. And a lot of foreign leaders like her more than y'all like her. But on to reading these people, because it leads me to Jennifer Jacobs. She's a reporter. Let's see what her background is. So Jennifer Jacobs is a senior White House correspondent for the Bloomberg News. Because that's what she is. She looked pretty damn old, if you ask me. So, Mrs. Jacobs, whatever her last, whether she's a Miss or Mrs., seem to have issues with black people or our vice president. So I'm going to read her whole thread. In Paris, at VP Harris says politics would be better if the attitude were more like the world of science, where ideas are tested, then refined as glitches pop up and no one gets beat up about it. Here's the real context of what the vice president says.
Start again. I love that. A hypothesis. It's well thought out. It's well planned. They start out with a hypothesis, and then they test it out, knowing invariably, you're trying something for the first time, there will be glitches, there will be mistakes. Then everyone gets together, no one gets beat up about it. You analyze it, what went wrong, reevaluate, update the hypothesis, and start again. With us in government, we campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. And then the environment is such that we're expected to defend the plan. Even when the first time we roll it out, there may be some glitches and it's time to reevaluate and then...
That was substantive. Because it's important for the science that she was relating it to the COVID vaccine. She was relating to other things of science that we have here. And then this the tweet that really pissed a lot of people off. Even some black lefties got pissed. So here it is.
Definitely affects women in terms of what we believe will actually address, again, a topic of conversation, the topic of conversation on the main stage yesterday, inequities, the inequality of systems and structures. We know that this is an issue that disproportionately affects women and working women. We know.
So that was a topic that she was talking about, issues that affect women in terms of our health, in terms of, the environment. So Jennifer Jacobs, goofy ass, tweeted this. The @VP again used the pronunciation for the word the, making a point. Some critics have claimed she appeared to adapt a fake French accent when she said the plan during a tour of a research lab on Tuesday. Today at Paris press conference, she said the topic. FWIW as a reporter in the room for both sets of remarks by the VP. I heard zero French accent in her words. So Jennifer, if you heard zero accents in her words, zero. If you heard zero French accent in her words using the, why the fuck would you tweet that shit? Why would you even say she was making fun of a French accent or appear to have a fake French accent? Why? Were you trying to get a lot of clicks and likes? Because apparently you got a lot of mentions for that shit. A lot of people swarmed your mentions and basically told you about yourself. Then again, I'm not surprised. She and many other reporters miss the former guy, aka the New York bum. So here's my words for Miss Jacobs or Mrs. Jacobs, wherever the fuck you go by, Miss or Mrs. First of all, she did not have an accent. She did not appear to mock a French accent. A lot of people, including me, use the word the, describing something to make a point. And if you heard zero of her using a French accent, there was no point of you tweeting that shit. But I'm glad you, Jennifer, with your old foggy looking ass of in that picture, that profile picture that you have on Twitter and online, got that smoke. You fucked around, you find out, and now you know to never, ever come for the VP ever again. So keep reporting wherever dumb shit you're reporting and keep the VP's name out your goddamn mouth. Point blank and the period. I mean, exactly, Yvonne. Megan used Megan the Stallion because it's for Megan the Stallion. Exactly my whole point. And yes, Jay, these media people need clicks, clout, and views since Trump left. You know what it is? Because the cash cow was gone, because he was writing books about Trump. Like Jonathan Carl just recently wrote a book about Trump. Like, all y'all making money off of this New York bum, this sewage rat. Like, y'all really miss y'all abuser. As Carly said, y'all miss y'all motherfucking abuser. Y'all really do. Y'all miss y'all abuser so much because he was making y'all some money, keeping y'all working all day long. Now you got a competent president and a competent vice president that's actually trying to save our country from going down under, and y'all criticizing them for doing their job. And I thought y'all was terrible to the president, to President Obama. But damn, really? And some of y'all still got smoke for Obama. Maureen Dowd. Like, I'm gonna need for y'all mainstream media people to get your shit together and actually do your motherfucking job. Or pass your jobs along to people of color. And some of you black folks that want to criticize the vice president, say she's not letting y'all in. She don't mind interviewing y'all. The problem is with you folks is y'all want clicks and likes like y'all white counterparts. But the difference is we ain't gonna let y'all, smear the vice president. That's the difference. You're not going to get respect if you smear other people of color. It's just plain and simple. But enough of Jennifer Jacobs. Now let's get into the old English fart, or the moldy Thomas English muffin, stale, nasty ass Piers Morgan. So, Piers Morgan has a lot to say about black women. A whole lot to say. Because he does too much. But he basically said our vice president, I got this online, our vice president, is invisible, she's incompetent, and the president needs to ditch her. So here's the thing. The president is not going to ditch his vice president. He chose her for a reason, because they have a relationship, and she's competent, and she could do the job, and she's ready since day one. He did not choose your favorite whites like Amy Klobuchar, because her relationship with black people is a negative. He didn't choose Elizabeth Warren because him and Elizabeth Warren don't agree on a lot of things. He chose the vice president, Kamala Harris, because she's going to tell him the truth in the most smoothest and calm way as possible. The other two would not tell him the truth. They will actually try to primary his ass, especially Elizabeth Warren. So with that being said, Piers Morgan, you need to stay out of our country's politics, American politics. Worry about Boris Johnson and make sure he does not get sick on his job, because he almost died of COVID. You need to worry about making sure that to salvage your reputation, which you're known to be a pure racist. Worry, and also another thing, worry about, loving your wife. Love on her. Try to have sex more often, because you seem to be very pussyless these days. Maybe your wife is not giving you any pussy because you're just an ass. And the reason why you're really mad at black women is because we're not going to give you no pussy. That's what it is. We're not going to let your little stinky, dirty breath, because some of you European men, especially Englishmen, got the most nastiest rotten teeth, and plus your breath stink. And we're not going to let you eat our pussy. And we don't want your small dick, because you probably can't see your dick. We don't want your dick inside of us. So therefore, Piers, you need to love on your wife, stay out of American politics, and keep the VP's name out your goddamn mouth. Point blank, period. More than the British version of Maureen Dowd. He's like the British version of Bill Maher. Ugh. Just gross. I know Boris Johnson is looking pale. Yo, he really is suffering from the effects of COVID, because he had COVID bad. He almost died. Almost died. And yes, he's bitter. To the Globe and election Twitter. So Globe and election Twitter, I don't know who these people are, but I heard they're like teenagers with these accounts. This Globe Twitter, I guess they're Jewish kids. I don't know who they are, but it all started because I called out this guy named Shane. I call out his tweets and everything. And some of them got mad and shit and whatnot. And this Leela chick got mad. She called the K-Hive a terrorist organization. Then she deleted the tweet because she got that smoke. And then she said Kamala Harris is twice as popular as, I guess, like a leader in Iran. And then she said I was obsessed with her. And she got mad because I said she said something stupid and she's exposing her racism and misogynoir. And I said, why did you delete your tweets? And all of her followers and Shane followers came after me saying I am anti-Semitic and I harassed a cancer survivor. So here's the thing. I did not harass no motherfucking body. And I did not have people harass anybody. So happens that people don't like the fact that there's two white people coming after a black successful woman. Nobody likes that shit. Not even white people themselves. So the followers of Shane and Leela, I'm so glad that I met y'all and blocked y'all because y'all ain't shit. Y'all a bunch of fat people with politicians' pictures on your profiles because I know your real self. You're really ugly and you're fat and you probably stink. So that's for one. And two, Shane got all that smoke because Shane don't know how to shut the fuck up and keep black women's name out his mouth. And just because he's a cancer survivor, it doesn't excuse him for being a misogynistic bitch. And as for Leela, you mess around and find out when you play with older people, what happens is you face them. And older people are not playing with you. We don't play that. I have a goddaughter that's like probably 4 years younger than you. And she know not to play with adults. Why you keep fucking around online, I have no idea. But you met me. And you met a lot of older people that don't take no bullshit from the little kid. So I'm glad that Leela and Shane found out and they protect their tweets now because they ain't shit and they ain't gonna be shit. And if you got a problem, there's a DM and I will be so happy to shut you down and block you at the same time. Point blank, end of period. You don't want to mess with this one. I'm the wrong motherfucking one. I have time all day, every day. And as for Meghan McCain, with her narratives of CRT, here's the thing. White women voted for Glenn Youngkin because they're scared of the rise of black power. They're scared of competent black people. They're scared of change. They don't want their children to learn the fact that America has a bad racist past, and it's the truth. So Meghan McCain went to her friendly spaces to spout that bullshit, and some lady said to me in this tweet saying like I don't need to criticize her because I'm wrong for telling her that she need to take care of kids. So here's the thing to all these, like I said, I've been blasting these white moderates for the last God knows how when. I am an equal opportunist critic. I will criticize you whether you're on the right, the left, the center, or moderate. If you come at me crazy, I'm going to come at you crazy. If you're trying to police my tone, I will come at you like you have lost your goddamn mind. Because you really, really don't want the smoke. I am an equal opportunist critic. I am. I will get anybody. If you want it, I have time. I have all the time in the world. I am an equal opportunist critic. I criticize the Republicans, even people in my party, whether you're a progressive, a center-left person, a moderate, a centrist, you're getting that smoke. I will check you very quickly. And that same lady unfollowed me because, like I said, I don't coddle to whiteness. I don't coddle to Karenism or Chadisms or Susanisms. I'm not that one. So if you have a problem with what I say, you can unfollow. It's fine. I will gain more followers through the grace of God. In his name. Amen. The pastor of I will check. Yes, I will check your ass real quick. And it's the only chance that they can have something because they know they will never have anything black women's. That's right, Leela. I'm sorry, Jay, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It is the truth. But I'm going to end this because it's almost 12:30. But, you know, I want to say this to everybody that criticizes the vice president. Vice President Harris is not your mammy. She is not a mule. She's not your nanny. She is the vice president of the United States of America. She's our first woman vice president and the first woman of color vice president, black and Asian. She is not here to hold your hand or coddle to your whiteness or clean up your mess. No, she is here to lead our country with the president. If you don't like her, that's fine. You don't gotta like her. But respect her. Put some respect on her name. It's Vice President Kamala D. Harris. Vice President Harris. Madam Vice President. If you can't say any of those, don't say anything at all. Trying to slander her and saying that she's not good at her job shows where your white supremacy and your misogyny lies in. And if you have a problem with this video, the content of this video, you can pass and slide the fuck on through because I'm not here to coddle to your bullshit. And I'm not going to police my tone. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say, when I want to, and how I want to. I don't care. And that's on period. Yep, respect her or see what happens. Holy. Thank you guys. Thank you all. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Some of these clips will be on Twitter. Replay is on Instagram. And I will put this on YouTube. Until then, folks, have a good night. Deuces.